A reality TV star famous for crystals, drama, and a bedazzled skull collection that would make a pirate jealous just walked into the most corrupt election machine in American history and won, guys. Nobody saw this coming, especially not Karen Bass. Spencer Pratt, yes, that Spencer Pratt from the Hills, didn't just survive Los Angeles election night, he dominated it. In fact, he outperformed Karen Bass's entire incumbent machine. In fact, he sent Nithya Raman into a full panic mode. He made the NBC and MSNBC anchors sweat through approximately 4 layers of studio makeup live on national television. And still, California says that they need until July to finish counting. July of this year, guys. We think, at least. They haven't actually confirmed that part yet. They're still counting. Meanwhile, Nate Silver, the left's own sacred golden calculator, he called California's election system, quote, failed state behavior. Now, Steve Hilton is leading the government's race by 500,000 votes, and NBC is already rehearsing his concession speech. Ballot boxes were burned, and MSNBC reporter literally turned around and speed walked off camera the moment that Spencer Pratt's reporters started telling the truth on live television. And the same tired mail-in ballot playbook from 2020 is running again in broad daylight, kind of like they forgot the rest of America has eyeballs. Well, we have every receipt, guys. We have every number. We have every market shift, every glorious, embarrassing moment that they prayed that you would just go ahead and scroll past. We got it all. Now, before we dive in, if you haven't already subscribed yet, go ahead and hit the button right now, because YouTube buries channels like ours. And frankly, we have been through enough this week, haven't we? And listen, guys, if you or someone you love is confused about Medicare, which, let's be honest, is pretty much every single one of us, including the people counting ballots in California, Medicare is incredibly complicated, needlessly. Free expert help is now available right through Chapter. Phone number down below, zero cost, zero pressure. These guys are absolutely amazing. It could save you thousands of dollars, literally. So click the link in the description down below, or call my friends over at Chapter right now. Phone number is right there at the bottom of your screen. So let's go ahead and get into this, guys. I want to go ahead and set the scene first, okay? So it's election night in Los Angeles. The votes start coming in, and Spencer Pratt, yes, that's Spencer Pratt, the man whose biggest previous controversy involved a bedazzled skull collection, is sitting at 30% and climbing.
Former reality TV star Spencer Pratt and others are also locked in a battle for second and third to take on Bass.
I got in this because, as a citizen, I felt like my city failed myself, my neighbors, my family. And when I got on this mission now, I look around and the city's failing most of Los Angeles.
Are you surprised that Pratt made it to number 2?
No, Pratt's good. No, I'm not surprised at all.
Did you think Spencer Pratt would be doing this well? He's second place.
I wish them good luck.
The establishment's losing their ever-loving mind. They laughed at him, they mocked him on air, they treated his campaign like a punchline at a Hollywood dinner party, and then the votes came in. He's neck and neck with a sitting mayor in Los Angeles, one of the most Democrat-controlled cities on planet Earth. Spencer Pratt, who had every institutional advantage, every media ally, every dollar of establishment backing, just could not shake this guy. And betting markets started moving forward. Kalshi watches Bass drop from an 85% chance of winning all the way down to 73%. And still falling. One night, guys, one outsider with a crystal collection, and the whole playbook just started falling apart. Somebody call a psychic, because nobody saw this coming. Now, here's where this gets interesting. While Spencer Pratt's votes were still rolling in, hundreds of thousands of ballots are still uncounted. So while the rest of America is eating popcorn, watching the numbers flip, the media calls Karen Bass immediately. No drama, no suspense, done before the confetti hit the floor. Now, remember, guys, these are the same people who spent all night telling us to be patient. Oh, hold on. This will take days, maybe weeks. Don't expect instant gratification, but Karen Bass called on the spot. Quick as a California tax hike. And here's the kicker, guys. Go look at Karen Bass's social media that night, okay? Find me the excitement. Find me the viral celebrations. Find me one comment section that wasn't a digital ghost town. You can't, because it wasn't there. The internet wasn't celebrating Karen Bass. It was celebrating Spencer Pratt. But of course, the media had already made their decision.
Over these last 3.5 years, we have laid a foundation, and we're going to build on that foundation, because we know what a city we have and what a city we can be. I don't care where you're from, when you got here, or why you're here. You are an Angelino, and we are gonna fight for you.
The numbers didn't match the narrative. Shocking, shocking, truly shocking. Like, who could have seen that coming, right? So this is the clip the internet just could not stop talking about. MSNBC sends a reporter to Spencer Pratt's election night party, a packed Mexican restaurant, energy through the roof, real people who actually showed up because they believe in something. The reporter starts interviewing supporters live on air, and the supporters start talking about homelessness, about what's happening on LA streets, about Karen Bass's 4 years of broken promises, and what the city has actually become under her watch. Oh, and the reporter cuts him off, kills the interview, physically removes herself from the situation, gone, faster than a Democrat leaving a press conference on crime statistics. Except the cameras kept on rolling and the internet saw everything. That clip went viral because it wasn't just rude, it was a perfect live demonstration of a media that loves your voice right up until it says something that they didn't approve of. The moment it doesn't approve, they grab the mic from you and they run for the hills. They must have had a very important hair appointment. Yeah, exactly. But hey guys, before we go any further, if this is making your blood boil, good. That means you're paying attention. Now, do me one thing. Send this video to one person in California who needs to see it. Text it, post it, drop it in a group chat. I don't care how you get it out, because the only way that this story gets told is if we tell it. Now, let's keep going because it gets better, I promise. So I want to talk about the mechanism because this is not random. This is a system, a very old, very tired, very predictable system. NBC's own analysts went on air the night of the election and told you openly on camera with a straight face that late arriving mail-in ballots trend heavily Democratic. Now, they go on to say that a full third of all LA votes wouldn't even be counted on election night. You'd think that might be all, but no, they weren't done. That more ballots would keep magically arriving days after the election closed. They said it like it was perfectly normal. It is not normal. And then, bless their hearts, they looked directly into the camera and explained that those late ballots would be good news for Bass and good news for Rahman. So they literally mapped out the strategy on live television. They just told everyone what was going to happen. And then they acted confused when people noticed. 3 consecutive mail-in updates. First Bass, Rahman second, Pratt in distant third every single time. What are the odds? Don't worry, California will finish calculating that by mid-August.
You see, that's what's happening in California. They're rigging the election.
President Donald Trump is again alleging, without evidence, cheating in California's vote count. At a small business roundtable in San Francisco Thursday, Republican gubernatorial frontrunner Steve Hilton echoed complaints about the delays.
This election is turning into yet another Democrat fiasco.
Many races hinge on vote totals that could take days or even weeks, including the governor's race.
It is a complete disgrace that now, nearly 2 days after the election, barely half the votes, just over half the votes, have been counted.
State law allows ballots to be counted even if they arrive a week after the election day, as long as they were postmarked by then. I asked Hilton, who Trump endorsed, if he agrees with the president's unfounded assertion.
Do you believe anything nefarious is going on?
We're watching everything very closely. Our team is on top of everything. We've got lawyers standing by if needed. At this point, we haven't seen any need to intervene in that way, but we are very frustrated.
For years, Trump has railed against mail-in voting, making false claims about widespread voter fraud. Hilton is not making the same claims, but says there need to be systemic improvements.
I think there are points of consensus that everyone can get behind. Some degree of early voting, election day, a holiday, mail-in votes for those who need it by request.
3.5 million ballots are still to be counted. 60% of the vote has been tallied in the governor's race. 64% tallied in the Los Angeles mayor's race.
I want to talk about Florida just for a second, okay? 22 million people, massive state, complex, very complex ballot, dozens of races that are running simultaneously. Results? Same night, done, clean, fast. Ron DeSantis probably had time to go to dinner. Now, I want to talk about California, okay? The richest state in America, home to Silicon Valley, the technology capital of the entire planet, the place where people literally invented the iPhone, and they need until July the 2nd to count votes from a June election. July 2nd, guys. Even Nate Silver, who is absolutely nobody's idea of a right-wing firebrand, he publicly stated that California's weeks-long vote resolution is kind of insane. He even said other democracies around the world wouldn't or didn't operate this way. He called it failed state behavior. Failed state behavior, guys. Meanwhile, California's out here acting like, counting ballots is somehow harder than launching a rocket. SpaceX can put a car in orbit, but Sacramento somehow somehow just can't count votes before 4th of July. You can't even make this stuff up, guys. Now, I want to stay on Nate Silver just for a second because this is genuinely remarkable. This is the man that Democrats treat like a golden calculator, their numbers prophet, the guy that they quote to end arguments at Thanksgiving dinner. And Nate Silver, he looked at California's vote counting timeline and publicly said that this is third world behavior that should be, in his exact words, much more stigmatized. Stigmatized, guys. Not efficient, not unfortunate, not a process we should revisit in committee. Stigmatized, like something shameful, like something society should look down on. So when the left's most trusted statistician starts sounding like a guy at a Trump rally, something has gone catastrophically sideways in California. And the media's response? Mostly silence. Because when your own experts start agreeing with the other side, the only play left is to pretend that they didn't say anything and just hope nobody clipped it. Well, too late. We clipped it. Hi, Nate. Now, I want to discuss something that in a functioning media environment would have been the lead story on every single network. Ballot boxes in Los Angeles were burned, not misplaced, not delayed in transit, not lost in the mail like your Amazon package during Christmas. Burned. And the mainstream media coverage of this bombshell story was checks notes, almost completely silent.
After damaged ballots were found burned inside this drop box behind me. And in a separate incident, vandalism was discovered at a Long Beach voting center, although officials say voting operations were not disrupted. Officials say a small number of ballots were damaged by fire between scheduled collections at a downtown Los Angeles drop box. Election workers also discovered vandalism Sunday morning at a vote center in Long Beach's Cesar E. Chavez Park. Bass told CNN what she thinks Pratt would be like as mayor.
I can't even imagine. I don't think I understand. He has a degree in political science, but he does not have a background or knowledge in how our government works.
Pratt responded to that on X, saying, quote, "We don't have to imagine Bass as mayor. We're living that disaster. That's why I'm taking her job." Entourage creator Doug Ellen voiced his support for Pratt, citing concerns about the city's direction and safety.
5 years ago, didn't lock a door here, but you know what happened? 2 animals invaded my house and all putting cameras and hiring security guards because we're all getting broken into. It's not made up, it's not false, and this city has collapsed in the last 5 years.
Now, can you imagine the coverage if this happened in a Republican-run county? The Chirons alone would be breaking television screens. Anderson Cooper would have done a 2-hour special in a turtleneck. But in Los Angeles, crickets. Moving on, nothing to see here, guys. And here's the part that should really make your jaw drop onto the table. Spencer Pratt is still winning despite it. Now, think about what this tells you about his actual support level. He overcame the machine, the media, the narrative, and literal fire. This is not a campaign. This is a Marvel movie, except it's real. So raise your hand if you've seen this movie before. Anybody? Anybody with their hands up? Republican candidate dominates election night, looks like a clear winner, everybody goes to bed. Wakes up, somehow the math has changed. We saw it in 2020. We saw it in the 2021 California recall when Larry Elder was surging and the numbers did their funny little dance. And we're watching it again right now in Los Angeles. Same playbook, same excuses, same just be patient and trust the mail-in ballots energy. People across social media are reporting that they went to bed with Pratt ahead and they woke up with Karen Bass suddenly leading, while Pratt's actual raw vote total had barely moved. His number didn't move, guys. This is not counting. This is a magic trick, okay? And not even a good one. President Donald J. Trump has been sounding the alarm for exactly this reason for years. California just keeps writing his talking points for him. Now at this point, he should probably send them a thank you card. Now Spencer Pratt, he said something during one of the debates that everyone in the media laughed off. He accused Karen Bass and Nithya Raman of coordinating on purpose to finish first and second, to surgically lock him out of the runoff and make the general election a cozy two-Democrat affair. Now the media, of course, rolled their eyes. Very cute, Spencer. Go ahead and go back to your crystals. But then the vote tallies started coming in. 3 consecutive mail-in ballot updates. Bass is first, Raman is second, Pratt is a distant third. Like somebody set it on a timer. Not once did the pattern break. Not once did it wobble. Perfectly consistent. Every single round, guys. Now, is that proof? You decide. But when a candidate stands in a debate and predicts out loud on camera exactly how the votes will be structured before they're counted, and then they fall exactly that way, that's either the greatest coincidence in Los Angeles political history or it's not.
Pratt is weighing in on this political endorsement. Pratt took to X to share a New York Post article on the news, pairing it with videos of homeless encampments and the caption LMAO. Tonight, Pratt is also accusing Rivals Bass and Rahman of secretly teaming up to block his run.
Why isn't Karen upset? Why do they never attack each other? Because Karen saw that I was a serious threat and she made Nithya jump in the race to block me out from the number 2 slot. But now I've shot past Bass, so now you have Karen Bass operatives trying to trick you and steal back votes by telling you that they actually, if you want Spencer to win, you have to vote for Bass. We are dealing with a cartel here. It's going to be an uphill battle the whole way. They're losing the messaging war. Nothing is working. So they think this fake Machiavellian shtick will work on you. You're being played. Nithya never goes after Bass. She always pushes these impotent, nebulous criticisms like, we're failing in the city. You are being scammed. Vote Pratt in the primary.
Now here's the cold hard data, because real money doesn't spend. On election night, Karen Bass sat at 85% on call sheet, but by morning, 73% still dropping. Spencer Pratt went from political punchline to legitimate threat in less than 24 hours. These are people putting actual dollars on the line. I mean, they have bills to pay. They don't have teleprompters or some talking points. They have spreadsheets, and they move their money toward Pratt. The media says one thing, the markets say another. Follow the money every time. It has never once asked you to be patient until July 2nd. Now, don't let the LA drama make you forget what's really happening at the state level, okay? Steve Hilton, endorsed by President Trump, walked into election night leading the California governor's race with nearly 1.4 million votes.
I don't mind which Democrat it is because the argument will be the same. Change or more of the same. It's very simple, very straightforward, and in different ways, those two Democrats that are in contention both offer more of the same. Javier Becerra continuing down the path that we've been on for all these years. I would say Tom Steyer wants to accelerate, go even further and faster down a road that the majority of Californians say they don't like. A majority of Californians have said they want change. And so to go even further and faster in the wrong direction, I don't think is what we need for this state.
His nearest Democrat competitor, Tom Steyer, he's sitting almost 500,000 votes behind. 500,000. And yet NBC was already on air telling you with absolute sincerity that late mail-in ballots could hand Steyer the win. 4 million votes still uncounted, mind you, okay? A timeline stretching to July, a media apparatus already writing the comeback story before the race is even cold. Does this sound familiar to anyone? California has the GDP of a major world power and counts votes slower than a kindergarten bake sale. Meanwhile, Hilton leads, Pratt surges, and the machine works overtime. Somebody's going to need a bigger ballot dump. Now, here's the bottom line, okay? Something shifted in California this week, something the machine did not budget for. Socialists lost races that they were supposed to sleepwalk through. Outsiders outperformed in neighborhoods that haven't voted red in a generation. The betting markets moved. Nate Silver used the phrase failed state. A reality TV star nearly knocked out an incumbent mayor. And in Washington, D.C., President Trump, he's watching every single second of it. Calls for federal oversight of California election are getting louder and louder. The Save America Act. Executive orders are targeting mail-in voting. FBI election integrity pressure. The walls are closing in on a system that assumed that it was untouchable. California thought it could run the same play forever. Spencer Pratt just proved the city is done being fooled. The machine is loud, but it's showing some cracks. And once people see the cracks, they never unsee them. California is waking up. Now, if this video fired you up, go ahead and smash the like button right now. Share it with someone in California who needs to hear this. Drop it in your group chats. Post it everywhere they don't want you to. The only way that this story gets told is if we tell it. I'll see you on the next one.